Hi there, beautiful souls. Welcome and thank you for watching. I'm Gabrielle, retired medium in Germany, and I like to share some of my otherworldly experiences and insights. So this is about religion, worship, cults, and leaders. I would love to start with a cite from one of my favorite Chinese wise man, Confucius, who said, "Stupidity is not knowing little, nor is it wanting to know little. Stupidity is believing you know enough." So that is one of my favorite sites, and it teaches me a lot since years and years. It's ever working. So back to the point about religion, I had my kind of experiences with all of the four religion, worship, cults, and leaders. And about religion, well, I stick to what I got from my guides, who told me all religions are man-made. And if you research just a little bit, you find out pretty soon that the Christian Bible, since 333, at the Concile of Nicaea, was redacted. Oh, so many times. They took out reincarnation, which was in there before, but as they were not smart enough, they left some hints here and there that they overlooked to redact. So there is, for example, a situation where Jesus is asked whether he is the coming back of John the Baptist. Or in another passage, there is the question whether John the Baptist is the coming back of the prophet Elijah. And there's so much more stuff in there. If you read with attention, you can find easily that there's a lot of things wrong in the Bible, redacted, manipulated. And if you ask yourself for what reason, well, that's obvious, because it fits the ruling powers and their agenda. So, well, I think that Source, all that is, with its divine spark in our soul, always sent messengers through all ages down to earth to remind us of what it's really about. That the only religion is your own inner connection with your own divine aspect. As the word religion, coming from Latin, only means I connect back. Re means back, and ligare or ligio means I connect. So that's it for me. I don't need to know more. And just to give you a few examples of some of the messengers that in my eyes certainly came from Source with a mission. There was Zoroaster in ancient Persia. And of course, as humans are in their human condition, we always create a cult, a religion about the person. And it was never about the person, it was always about the message, and still is always and only about the message. So another one was Mani. Therefrom was created Manichaeism. Well, and Jesus, Yeshua, he probably did not want to create a cult or a religion, but now we have Christianity with a lot of redacted texts that lead astray. But still, there is truth and wisdom in the Bible. You only have to find it. And you can find it via the resonance, the frequency match, when it touches you so deep that you just can't help being touched. And another one of these messengers for me, in my eyes, is Buddha. There was created Buddhism from his appearance and his teachings. I tend a lot more to Buddhism than to any other kind of religious view. But I exited the church long ago, and I remember a funny thing. When I started getting interested in astrology and psychology and spirituality during my times as a student, I had some colleagues, other students, when I talked with them about what I was interested in and was seeking for truth and stuff like that, they said to me, "That sounds religious." And it was neither just stating a fact, neutral, nor a compliment. It sounded like an accusation. And more or less the same thing happened with me when I was with the Rosicrucians. I followed their 12 evening course about their knowledge and their teachings. And of course, I asked questions. And I remember that one of the team answering the questions and holding the course in their center said to me, "You are so honest." And that as well did neither sound like a compliment nor just like a statement in neutrality. It sounded like some kind of accusation. Isn't that interesting? So I think it's about the message and all the messengers Source sent to us to remind us of our inner connection with our own divine spark in our soul, which has the full potential of Source, all that is, itself. But you have to unpack the potential. That's why it's called a potential. You have to be willing and open to explore, to learn, to try out, to play around, train and exercise with that, and have your own first-hand experience, because that's the only thing that can convince you and your ego mind of what is really true and what it's really about. So all these messengers were just bringing impulses of remembrance of the soul's true home down to earth, to our 3D world. So in my eyes, the soul's complex, because the soul is a complex made of many, many different aspects. One aspect might reside in Andromeda, at the Pleiades, or wherever. It's not all bound to Earth. The soul has many experiences, all at the same time, and we, in our personality and ego mind, we get glimpses here and there, and we try hard to understand. Stop trying too hard, because by that sometimes you push it more away like a magnet instead of attracting it. So in my eyes, the soul's complex's true home is unity with the Creator, and all apparent journeys are but steps in the eternal dance of experience and remembrance. So, what about worship? Well, I once had a vision that was kind of shocking to me and also disgusting, because what I saw taught me something. It's already years ago, and I'm still trying to stomach that on several levels of understanding. I somehow suddenly got a vision of a god sitting on a throne, a deity. And I saw on the earth all the worshippers of that one deity, that God. And from out of their systems, right from the middle, from their hearts, came this wonderful, golden, shining thread of energy. And it was moving towards the God on the throne. And this guy sucked it in like a heroin addict. And that was my lesson, to learn that it's never about worshipping an external being, entity, person, whatever. And when I conversed with my guides, my spirit guides about that, they confirmed and said, only ever worship your own divine inner light. So that's it for me about worship. That's why I pray very different. I don't pray to an external being, God or whatever. And I know that Source has put this potential, this spark of divinity into my soul, and that's where I connect, where to I address, and where I want and wish to align with. So the next point is cult. Well, the definition of a cult is usually a system or a group of people who practice excessive devotion to a figure, an object, or a belief system. And typically they follow a charismatic leader. So here I want to share now a wonderful story that I, as my rebel soul, love very much, about an Indian man, Jiddu Krishnamurti, who was discovered as a boy by Rudolf Steiner, the founder of anthroposophy, as kind of a special soul or whatever. So as Steiner was also in contact with the Theosophical Society, they took this Indian boy and, well, they trained him and schooled him and for years and years, and tried to make him their prodigy. And in the end, they founded an order, a new order, as if the world needs a new order or a new religion. They made him head of the Order of Star. And his first official act in the position as head of the Order of Star was dissolving the order. And this chaka, I really love it. That guy, Krishnamurti, is all about freedom, self-authority, sovereignty, responsibility for your own life, your own experiences, and your spiritual path. That's what I love about him. And he was even flown in secretively. You can find that in the documents and the letters of the nurse. Betty, somehow I forgot the name, but it's quite a popular story, that cared for the first ET alive that was found with the Roswell crash. And no one of all the military guys, men, as the male energy is usually radiating out and female energy is perceiving, because women have to care for their babies. So they have to learn to read the mind and the feelings of these little humans that can't yet express themselves with language. So she was much more perceptive than all these guys with their agenda. And she cared for this alien that they got from the Roswell crash incident and kept for a while. And she was the only one able to receive the telepathic communication from this alien. No one else, whomever they tried to bring in, could do it. And they even brought in Jiddu Krishnamurti. It's written in her diary and her letters. She experienced Krishnamurti as a very humble and friendly and kind man, but he could not communicate telepathically with the ET. Isn't that interesting? And I think I have to add something because of my last video where I spoke about my vision of the golden door, which I had in a Baha'i temple. Sorry. And I didn't know what to make of it until I years later met a guy, this Persian man, who was a Baha'i and who told me, well, golden door is the meaning of the founder of the Baha'i. The name Baha'u'llah means golden door. I hope you do not misinterpret that and now go running to become a Baha'i, because I think this man got the right impulse to unite, but maybe he failed a little bit, like most of our mundane worldly organizations, cults and new religions. He tried to unite all religions by creating a new religion that unites all religions. I think what the world needs is not another religion, another cult, or another leader, because then you give up your divine power for an exterior source, and you fail in connecting with your divine spark of your soul inside your heart, where the connection is. So I think it's about the direct connection within. The master is within. The only leader is within your heart, in your soul, and nowhere else. So that's what I want to share today, and I would love to close with two sides of one of my favorite philosophers, Bertrand Russell. He said, man is born ignorant, not stupid. Education makes him stupid. I love that. And another side of Bertrand Russell that I really love is, the bad thing about this world is that the stupid are so self-confident and the wise are so full of doubt. So I'll leave you with that. Happy ponderings. Thank you for watching. Blessings, love and light, as always, to you, beautiful souls, on your soul path. Bye.